So what's this 5-minute quickie all about? Well, as usual, it's not 5 minutes, but it's not too long. But it brings, I think, a very important message that was brought home to me by watching just a TV programme of two old friends going fishing. And it brought up the subject of keeping things in, trying to keep things hidden, such as depression, anxiety, fears, the way you're feeling. And it's not good to hold those in, but it gives you a wonderful way to open up the door to let people help. But it also gives a way to help other people too, if you have an understanding or an inkling that someone's feeling not so good about themselves. So I think this is really important. I hope it's important to you to listen now. Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast with me, Paul Clough. I'm a hypnotist, a master hypnotist at that, a trainer of NLP, and all things to do with the mind. And what do we do at this Personal Development Unplugged podcast? Well, we deconstruct what some people do extraordinary things, so we can break down what they do into simple, easy steps so we can replicate them. But we also deconstruct the things that we don't like about ourselves. Maybe those negative beliefs, those limiting beliefs and behaviors, and those really negative emotions, so we can change them. And then we can have the most positive beliefs about ourselves, the most wonderful positive emotions, and then the behaviors that match all of that. So our wishes don't just fade away, our wishes become dreams, and our dreams become our reality. And we create the world we wish to live in with all these wonderful skills. You'll have fun. Have a listen.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, my friends, welcome to this, I think it's going to be a 5-minute quickie. And the question is this just a man thing? I don't think it is, but I think it's more of a man thing. And what's that, Paul? Well, keeping things hidden from view. And I don't mean like material things, but I bet we do it anyway, but not material things. I mean emotional things. Women, I guess, seem to talk about things more. But whether it's a manly thing to do, to talk about your emotions, or talk about what's going on in your life if you're not 100%. And the thing is, there are a few people, I guess, that will speak out, but nevertheless, it stays unspoken. It's not discussed. And one of the main culprits of that, or the main, culprits is a good word, is depression. And depression runs rife, or can do, if you suffer from it, if you behave depressed. We'll talk about that in another podcast. But you could say this about most things that we don't share. And you could put them under the heading negative feelings, such as, I feel anxious about this, I'm worried, fearful. I've got this thing, I don't know, some people might call it OCD, or have this repeating memory. I don't sleep well. I keep thinking about things. I've got this voice going on in my head all the time. Or I keep thinking about things happening. But you get the picture, don't you? Basically anything that's negative that draws our attention and makes us feel down, makes us feel worried. You see, I don't know if women are more open to this. I don't know. If you ever read the book, Men Are From Mars and Women From Venus, it's coming through that, I don't know, women are more empathetic. They listen without trying to suggest ways. They're just there, where men like to solve things, or they think they do. Now, why am I talking about this? Because you see, here's the thing. I was watching this lovely TV program. It's a TV program where it's basically two, I might call them aging, but they're not young, and they're comedians, ex-comedians. They're still funny. They've both had problems with their hearts, so physical stuff. and they go fishing together. And to be honest, the fishing I love the fishing side of it, but that's probably about, 50%, if that, of the program. The remainder is just them talking together, reminiscing, talking about their families, talking about their things. And it's just two friends talking. But I was thinking about this, two friends sitting on a fishing bank where you were there for 3 or 4 hours minimum, and especially if you're not catching anything, then you are going to talk, and time will, I guess, get you to reveal more. But the thing is, when you come to things like depression, there's a stigma around things like this, isn't there? You don't talk about it at work, certainly, because, if you've got problems at work and you've got emotional problems, we don't want that coming up, do we? But keeping things hidden doesn't work either, because that causes more anxiety. We've got depression, then we get anxious and frightened about our anxiety and that depression. And then we get sad, even sadder. And then we start behaving in even more weird ways, trying to keep it hidden, I guess. But the thing is, on this particular program, they brought a doctor on board just to have a little chat about men's problems, because men don't talk about men's problems very often. And he gave some great advice. So I'm going to shout his name out as well. Give a big shout out for Dr. Anand Patel. He's a lovely guy. He had a lovely mannerism with him. And he was a doctor, but he was just talking to them as just another friend. And he gave some great advice on how to, bring up this issue, especially if you were going to the doctor. Because he said, this is the way I would do it. And it is so bloody simple. So simple. And as we say here, in simplicity, there's genius. And it just struck me how easy it was. And you could say this to your mate if you're just, talking to your mate. And all he said was, this is all you have to say. And I quote, I've not wanted to talk about this, but I've been feeling really low. That's it. That's it, Cluffy. Yep. I've not wanted to talk about this, but I feel low, or I've been feeling low. And to me, that just opened the door. Just opened the door a crack. Do you remember we've talked about in a previous podcast called Help Me, Help Me? It's the same thing. But this, I just felt, was a wonderful way to start a conversation. Because I guess, this is my guess, when you open the door, your mate's going to come through it anyway, but he'll probably bring with him some experiences of his own. I thought that was just terrific advice, isn't it? Terrific advice. Not wanting to talk about this, but I feel low. And you can fill in the blank if there's, something else. Just fill in the blank. As we said, if I'm anxious, fearful, got a problem, maybe there's this person at work that just really gets me. Because I can remember a long, long time ago, and I didn't have this type of advice. And I didn't really have the type of friends that even if I did, would I open to it? But I used to wake up in the mornings, and as soon as I thought about work, I would get some terrible feelings in my body. My stomach would toss and turn, and I just knew. I didn't know what it was, but I just knew something terrible was going to happen. It just felt that way every time. And could I do my work properly? Not at all. So, obviously, things were going to happen. It was horrible. But then opening up the door, things just got better for me. And this has maybe just rekindled that. And I thought, I've called this make yourself known. Could have said, open the door. But even if you just say, I've not wanted to talk about this before, and you fill in the blank. Just start talking. You will be amazed. And this does go, I've said, whether men hide this, that's what people say. But that's such a generality, isn't it? I know in all sexes, we probably all have this. But just start talking. When we start talking, we'll get help, because we're not going to talk about it in a needy way. We're just opening up. We have that classic case of vulnerability. But this is the type of vulnerability that well, you need bloody help anyway. Because the mere fact that you feel or have a negative feeling, whether it's depression, sadness, fear, grief, anxiety, they're not acceptable. They're not acceptable. And we need to deal with it, because whatever you think you are, you're so much more than that. And when you get to a level where you think you're okay, guess what? Whatever you think you are, you're even more than that. It is never ending. Never ending. So you deserve so much more. And the thing is, when we do open that door, even if it's just a crack, to let a little light in, things will start to become better. And then you'll look back, and then you'll have that bloody stupid thing that we say, oh, we should have done it sooner. But hey, when the time's right, the time is right. But the time is right now. Because when I saw a lovely advert just yesterday of a clock, and instead of having numbers around, it just had now, now, now. What's the time? Now. So you've got the time. You know it's now. And if you have anything, find someone to talk to. Even if you have to go to a therapist, even if you have to go to a counsellor, bless them, even if you have to go to a doctor, to anybody, it doesn't matter who you open the door to. Because when you have the intention, and this is what I guess it's going to come down to, when you have the intention of seeking help, it's the first step. And yeah, it might be a little bit anxious, but I tell you what, once you cross that line, you're going to say, I'm not going to swear, but I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad. Because you will be. And then you'll start to take baby steps to get the way you want to be. And then those baby steps will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you are the example of what you want to see in others. And you'll be the change you want to see in yourself. And you will also be the person who will notice when someone is just opening that door just a little. You'll be the light that shines through that door. There you go. Because then, as we're going back to this theme, I guess, it's good for you. And then it'll be good for those around you. The people in your lives and the people you haven't met yet. And it'll be good for old planet Earth, bringing, call it this vibration of wellness, goodness, just increasing that vibration around the whole wide world. Anyway, that's enough. I just wanted to pass that on. Something to think about. And also just look, maybe we could just be a bit more vigilant. Keep our eyes open, be aware of people's behaviours. So we can ask them. Maybe give them the way by saying, I've not wanted to talk about this, but I feel low sometimes. And then see what happens with them, if that's what you think their issue is. Or I've been frightened before. How about you? And you can just start to push that door open. Give them the opportunity. Even if they won't speak to you, they'll know that door is there. Anyway, that is a reasonably long, satisfyingly long 5-minute quickie. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope it's made you think and look around. Because if that's what's happening inside, making you muse, making you think, making you be observant, shining a light, job's done. Hey, have more fun than you can stand. Until next time, my friend, it's Paul Clough, Personal Development Unplugged. Please listen to the next bit, because it's all about sharing and caring and things like that. And it will make a difference. It will certainly make a difference. So see you next time. Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that podcast. Because this is me, Paul Clough from Personal Development Unplugged, where I'm just trying to deconstruct, as they call it, deconstruct the complicated, so we can make life easy and richer. So our return on the effort and investment that we put in is magnificent. And you can have fun doing it. That's the main thing. Have fun and getting better each time. So if you enjoyed this episode or any other episode, very first thing I'd love you to do would be to pay it forward and share it with anybody and everybody you know. Wouldn't it be fun if you just sent it to everyone you knew? That would be fun, because that's the way of this integrated field of learning where we just share everything we know. someone will get the golden nuggets. They will, and their life will change, and you'll be the cause of their life changing. That would be awesome. Secondly, if you could just subscribe, because subscribe buttons do help. They help you to get the episodes on your platform of choice when they come out. No problems. You don't have to think about it. Off they come, ping, you get it. That would be awesome, because that helps with just the rankings in all those platforms. But also, if you ever get a chance, maybe just a little review. Hopefully it would be a 5-star review if you're putting a review up. But a nice review would be good. Again, that helps the ratings, which means if people get to see it because it's been rated better, it means they've got a chance to take the little golden nuggets that you would have shown and shared, and they get to get better too. And in all of that, we're doing 2 wonderful things. One is we're doing things that are good for you, they're good for others, and good for little old planet Earth. And secondly, we're leaving everybody and everything in a better place than when we first met them. And that includes little old planet Earth. Okay? Anyway, until next time, enjoy every heartbeat. Bye-bye.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.